There's exciting news for book lovers. Fireside Books in Parksville now has a second location in Port Alberni. The Bookworm. Used books are just $5 or less. The Bookworm on the corner of Redford and Anderson opens 7 days a week from 10 to 5. Building your personal library for less. Fireside Books at 464 Island Highway East in Parksville is a book dragon's dream come true. Both locations make growing your personal library easier than ever. New and used books and so much more. Order online at firesidebooks.ca and pick up at either location. Details available online.
You're going to make me watch this thing again?
Welcome to the Too Old or Pure Gold Movie Podcast. In today's episode, we're delighted to be joined by an all-firefighter cast from the Nanoose Bay Fire Department to help us tackle the 1991 action drama, Backdraft. The format of our podcast, you Gen Xers rewatch beloved movies from our youth to find out, are they really as good as we remember? To help us debate and ultimately pass judgment, we ask our millennial co-hosts to watch these movies for the first time and help us determine, are they too old or pure gold? I'm your host, Olin, VanderLeen, representing Gen X. Joining me today is my Gen X co-host, David Purcell, usually our sports and Michael Keaton guy, now covering fire.
Hello, everybody.
Bringing the experience, we welcome Michael to the Gen X team.
Hey,
hello, Mike. Representing the youth in this episode, we're very pleased to welcome a pair of Gen Z firefighting siblings like Stephen and Brian McCaffrey, Caitlin and Trevor.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Thank you.
Before we get into the episode, just a reminder, we need your support to grow this podcast, so please remember to like, follow, subscribe, and maybe tell somebody about it. Today's movie is the 1991 action movie Backdraft. Backdraft stars Too Old or Pure Gold favorite Kurt Russell, Billy Baldwin, Donald Sutherland, and Robert De Niro. And I would be remiss if I didn't point out young Rebecca De Mornay in this cast as well.
Thank you. I thought you were going to miss her. And
She's beautiful. Backdraft was directed by Ron Howard. Ron Howard got his start directing with titles like Splash and Cocoon and went on to be a prolific director after this with titles like Apollo 13 and The Da Vinci Code. The tagline from this movie poster is, "Silently behind the door it waits. One breath of oxygen and it explodes in a deadly rage. In that instant, it can create a hero or cover a secret."
ooh, wow, tell me more.
Yeah.
It's a bit long, but I like how it sets the fire up as a character, and it makes it sound more like a horror movie than anything else.
Yeah.
IMDb describes the film as two feuding siblings carry on a heroic family tradition as Chicago firefighters. But when a puzzling series of arson attacks is reported, they are forced to set aside their differences to solve the mystery surrounding these crimes. Wow, and in life imitating art, Caitlin and Trevor, are you guys feuding too?
Always.
Yeah.
Never
Ongoing
stops.
battle. Yeah.
Okay, good. I can't wait to get into this. Now, for those of you that have not seen the movie, I asked my 93-year-old dad to watch Backdraft and summarize the plot. And Caitlin and Trevor, I was telling Mike, but what I do for each of these movies is I force my 93-year-old dad to watch it and see if he can figure out what the movie's about.
Chicago firefighting brothers Stephen and Brian have been rivals since childhood. Stephen is a seasoned but reckless fire lieutenant, while Brian tries to live up to his brother's legacy. This is particularly hard on Brian, who has watched his father's death in a fire when he was only a young boy. The brothers were both serving in the same unit at the Chicago Fire Department, but Brian requested a transfer to the arson unit. While there, the city was to deal with several unusual explosive events. Brian and arson investigator Don will make the uncomfortable discovery that Stephen may be implicated. As the movie accelerates towards the end, with a massive chemical fire, Stephen confronts John Axe, who explains that fires to target a politician who somehow profited from closing fire halls. Now, Stevens and John are finally on a catwalk. The catwalk unfortunately collapses, and John hangs on to the wreckage. He urges Stephen to let his hand go and Stephen responds with, "You go, or we go," and both fall into the fire. John dies, and Stephen is mortally wounded. After all that, Brian and Don confront the politicians' corruption publicly.
So, before we get into it, part of the fun of this episode is having firefighters, real firefighters, to do this. So, Caitlin and Trevor, you guys are sibling firefighters, just like in this movie, and you have a history in firefighting. Tell us about your background and your family.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess it started with our papa. He started
1972.
1972. Worked his way up to chief and was there for,
Over 30 years.
quite a few years, yeah. My dad joined after him about 20 years ago now. And then I joined in, I believe, 2019. I was 14, which they don't do anymore, but I was kind of the last young member, kind of.
They don't do that anymore because of you.
Yeah.
We don't like talking about them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so I'm starting my 8th year now, and then Trevor did.
Yeah, I joined in this January, actually. I was asked in last December. And yeah, ever since then, I've loved it. It's been super fun. I like continuing it with the family, and yeah.
Family tradition, just like the movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Mike, how long have you been a firefighter?
So 2 years with Nanoose, but it's always been a calling for me. I mean, it's something I wanted to do when I was a kid. Coming out of high school, you're presented with career opportunities for a bunch of different reasons. I went the university professional accounting track. Yeah, exactly. Oof. I know. Who brought the accounts to this, right?
Yeah.
It's something that I've never been able to get away from. And, when I lived in Vancouver, we lived right across the street from one of the city's fire halls. And it drove me bonkers every day because it was a constant reminder of, yeah, man, could have been you, but again, you went a different way. So when I moved to Vancouver Island, life changed a little bit, and I had the opportunity to volunteer with the Nanoose department, and it makes me very happy to be able to do it.
Cool. Purcell?
You're not a volunteer.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh man, I usually
Not anymore.
yeah I try to
that out because that's weird.
yeah and
I've been a volunteer home for a
Nanoose
couple
Bay
of
Fire
years.
Department.
That's right.
I am an on-call firefighter. It's true. I try to not use that parlance. So thank you for catching me there.
Bad force habit.
Just thought I don't upset the chief.
Purcell, how long have you been a firefighter?
Well, actually, Mike and I we're in the same class.
Longer than you've been a Michael Keaton fan?
No, I've been a Michael Keaton fan since I was about 6.
Okay.
So, huge Michael Keaton fan. One of the greatest actors of our time. No, Mike and I were in the same class. So that would have been early 2024. So it's been a couple of years. Yeah, and like you said, it's just a great way to serve your community and learn new skills and do some pretty cool stuff. And 99.5% of the job is awesome. And yeah, just love doing it.
Okay, cool. Well, let's talk about this movie, which is representing firefighters. So first,
Time out.
what?
If this movie is representing firefighters,
Here we go.
I say representing.
This could be the most accurate firefighting film in the history of firefighting
true.
films.
Yeah.
sorry for the interruption. Carry on.
No, it's do in order. But I want to get a quick reaction from all of you before we dive deep into the discussion. And I'd like to talk to the Gen Zs first, because part of the premise of the show is old movies to find out if they hold up. Caitlin, what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was very Hollywood. It was very, entertaining. For that, I mean, I'm not usually somebody who can sit through movies very well, and it was over a 2-hour movie. And,
Very long.
I was able to sit through it fairly well, so that says something, I guess.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
Does say-
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned earlier how they portrayed the fire as being alive and breathing and stuff, and that is very real in a way, so I thought that was kind of neat to see. It was done, again, in a very theatrical way, but yeah, it still resembled kind of, I guess, a little bit of reality.
Trevor, what do you think?
Well, I thought the graphics from the movie were very well for its time. Contents in the movie, I wouldn't say were up to date, like I guess nowadays. Like running into buildings with no SCBAs and running past a dead body in a windshield, civilians taking photos of it. I just don't think that happens nowadays. But everything in the movie, for a 2-hour movie, I was able to stay focused the whole time and watch the whole thing and be interested.
That's good for a Z, right?
Yeah,
That's very good.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, what'd you think?
I found it very difficult to watch. Again, not to bring things down.
But bring them down. I always have to have one on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm happy to be that guy. I take the fire service role very seriously. I think that we have an incredibly important job to do, and I think that the public expects professionalism and constant professionalism. So I found the movie hard to watch because it was almost a movie of how to not do anything correct, like anything right.
I agree.
From the very beginning when they're doing their graduating thing at the bar and they're acting like a bunch of. Are we allowed to swear?
Yes.
What's the policy on that?
This is a rated R podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
We often speak about body parts and swear.
Yeah. I'll try to not be gratuitous, but they're acting like a bunch of yahoos. And that just kind of sets the scene, I think, for the entire movie, where the whole fire service is presented or portrayed as just a bunch of cowboys. That is not how it's supposed to be. Now, I will say, I am viewing this through a 2026 lens.
I was going to ask.
And I don't know what the reality on the ground was back in 1991. And so, I was willing to make, certain allowances and, suspend that level of disbelief. But come on, man, it was brutal.
Purcell?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same lines as Mike. I mean, you've got to Hollywood it up, right? Yeah. So you got guys running into buildings, their coats are undone, they've got no SCBAs on, but otherwise you've got a movie with a bunch of guys in masks. And that's not going to be a very good movie.
That's a good point.
So you kind of got to suspend disbelief. I actually looked up last night, so this movie was supposed to be set sort of in the early 90s. Yeah. All the apparatus they were using were sort of early 80s. So these guys are like, the surplus to get the movie done.
Yeah.
So, all of the gear, I think, was even, 10, 15 years older than what it was supposed to be.
Sure.
But, nowhere near real when it came to certainly the procedures and the equipment and how to do things. It's not even close. But still entertaining.
Yeah, maybe. But again, bias alert. I had a hard time watching it, and I had a hard time being able to enjoy it because I was just so put off from the get-go. But I mean, I found even that the portrayal of some of the fire behavior was just so
Hollywood.
It's just not plausible. It's just not. That's just not how it works almost ever.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of really interesting trivia about how it was made and about the fire and that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is the most fun part, is understanding how it feels to see your profession portrayed on a film and whether the fire seems real and all that stuff. For me, so I'm the non-firefighter in the room here, and I almost don't even care whether it's real or not. But for me, this movie, 2 hours and 20 minutes, and one thing I share with you Z's is that I don't like long movies. I'm a man of the 80s. That's my genre for movies. I love 90-minute movies. And okay, first hour dragged like it was, pardon the pun, a slow burn, right? A lot of character building, a lot of setting it up, and I almost didn't care. But the last hour and a half, I thought was a pretty good action film. I enjoyed it, and I thought the reckless behavior added to it. I thought it was kind of a fun action film, so I did like it. And the fire stuff looked cool.
Yeah,
real or not, it looked cool, and we will talk about how it was made. But yep, to me, it looked cool. So interestingly enough, the screenwriter is a guy called Greg Whedon, and he was a firefighter for 3 years, and he based this film on the death of a friend and an actual backdraft. And then one other interesting fact is that Dom Ringel, De Niro character, was based on a real fire inspector, and he was actually had a cameo in the film someplace. So it was there was some basis in truth for this story. Okay, so I had a whole bunch of questions for you guys about the realism of, does fire move like that? Are you really supposed to break the glass first? Because I was under the impression that you don't want to break the window and let all the oxygen in it. Am I right?
Generally speaking, yeah.
Generally speaking, the first thing you do is you set up containment lines. So you hit it from the outside first.
Yeah.
And then you breach. So once you reset the fire, and so you get the heat down in the space, then you can breach and ventilate and go in. But these guys didn't. There was not a single defensive thought.
They didn't even carry water with them half the time. They went in without hoses.
Running in without hoses, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's not how you fight a fire. The way that these guys are showing it.
I think what did it for me was the unnecessary explosions. And,
A lot of stuff exploded.
Lots of stuff, pipes falling
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And we got our start, immediately in the movie, like the first scene when, the dad dies. And, so we're shown the outside of this apartment building, and, there's a small explosion kind of near the roof of this, 3 or so story building. And it's
Brick
like,
building, yes.
okay, why would that have exploded like that? I mean,
I did wonder what was in that.
Was there like a gas line? Some dynamite hidden in in an attic? Like it just doesn't do that. And then there were a bunch of other things, throughout the movie where it's just like, boom, boom, things exploded, and it's just like,
Where?
It doesn't do
yeah, like what? Just yeah.
Well, and back to what you said earlier about the cowboy way. I mean, him jumping from balcony to balcony up there before entering the building.
Yeah.
Put the ladder here and then jump over there.
Yeah.
Move the ladder.
Move the ladder.
Yeah.
And the way they're moving too, like that scene and the scene kind of near the end where they're in the elevator shaft and they're swimming. I'm thinking about how heavy our gear is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not jumping from balcony to balcony. I'm not swimming. I can hardly walk.
And
let
arguably,
alone-
the gear in 1991 would have been worse than it is today.
For sure.
Oh gosh.
Heavier, crustier, all those things.
Totally.
And man, I mean, I can, when those guys were in that elevator shaft, I'm like, wow, man, they're like, their gear is flooding. Those boots are now full of water.
Yeah.
There's no
Like,
way.
how is it possible that they are keeping their head above water?
Yeah.
Well, because they're big burly cowboy dudes.
Of course,
Yeah,
of course.
Also, that was the other question: is do you take the elevator as a fireman?
You can.
in a high rise.
You can.
Can you?
You
Okay.
can. Yes.
I
It depends on the situation.
I
but
wouldn't,
You can.
because my thoughts about that was, okay, the fire could be way high up and you're going a floor or two below it, but what if it's spread randomly? What if it's somewhere that you don't realize it is, and now you're stuck in an elevator? How are you supposed to get out?
Yeah.
If you've got a room
you're
in
done.
fire, you'll be all right. But
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. And again, I'm going to nerd out on this stuff.
Yeah,
but,
do it.
like in the modern day fire service, like there's just so much intelligence gathering that happens before people make decisions, right? It's like
You don't just run in for the baby.
generally speaking, no. Like unless you know that there is like you see a baby in a window or something that is obviously needs to be attended to immediately. Yeah, sure, you'll do it. But absent any obvious piece of critical information, you go and gather that information. And then you make a plan, and then you execute the plan. Obviously, we do all of those things with a sense of urgency, and let's make this situation better. But you absolutely are trained to not ever act recklessly, and especially put other firefighters or anyone else in danger as a result of your actions, which, of course, makes for very boring movies. Yeah.
On that note, I did want to, with the baby, when you went to go in towards the end of the movie to go get that baby, I'm assuming that mother's first instinct when she discovered fire was to just leave.
Of course you do.
Oh, the firefighters will be here soon. Look at the
I
baby.
did ask that when I was watching it. Why did she leave without her baby?
Her baby.
But the kid was fine magically, so it's fine.
That was good. He didn't even look. He wasn't even crying, was he?
No, he's fine.
Hardly, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't if Kurt Russell was carrying me out either. But fair enough. To be honest. Yeah, that's hilarious. Okay, so Brian's first day is how was Brian's first day as a firefighter?
Oh.
Do you think they gave him adequate training?
Okay, so it's so painful. I mean, if you're not I don't care any job if you're not early or late. So this guy, I don't care whether your car doesn't start. Your first day to get to
Set your alarm 15 minutes early, right?
15 minutes. Set your alarm 2 hours early. Whatever it takes. And getting a full-time role in the fire service today is a very competitive task.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got to crawl over each other in order to get hired. And so there is just so much that goes into even getting to probationary status as a full-time paid firefighter.
Yeah.
And, for this guy to show up late, and then, oh my goodness, magically there's an alarm that goes off
Right
just
away.
as the shift starts.
Yep.
And so then, there's just so much wrong with it, right? Because, I'll cut to the chase and be like, how is it possible that happens in the first place? And then, magically there's just a spot on the truck
There's an empty seat.
available
Yeah.
because, he wasn't able to make it on time. But lo and behold, he's still able to, run, get on the truck with, you know, his gear flying all over the place. And it was hard to watch. If I haven't said it before, I'll say it again.
Yeah, and I wanted to add on that. I mean, him chasing after the truck as it's leaving the apparatus bay. I mean, you just don't do that. Like, that doesn't happen.
I sort of visualized him hanging from the door being dragged with his gear falling behind him.
But it was comical, like, you know, to see the firefighters, like, you know, by intent, like hanging off the back of the trucks. Like, you know, in the old days, like, you know, we used to do that. We don't anymore for a bunch of different reasons, mostly because that's a good way to get killed and injured. But
we should bring it back.
I agree.
We should totally bring it back.
I wish.
I just want to touch on something you said really quick. So you keep saying how it's all very unrealistic and all that. And I want to clarify that obviously I believe that as well. I mean, like I said, very Hollywood. But the thing is, we weren't born then. And so we hear stories of like, oh, guys used to hang off trucks and guys used to... So the other thing with us watching this movie is we're trying to analyze being like, was that a thing or is this fake? And so that's also another thing. Like, I know that part was real because there's pictures and stories. Like, I know people used to ride on the outside of trucks. But in general, yeah, it's definitely a different view because we don't actually quite know 100% what was a real thing and what wasn't.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, like, again, watching a 1991 film through a 2026 lens, I get it. I get it. And so, again, I don't know what was real for the day. Yeah. But again, like, I'm talking about watching the movie now.
Oh, for sure.
And how hard it is.
There would have been, I'm sure there would have been more cowboy behavior back in those days.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it. Yep. And it was a very masculine industry, I think, back then as well. And the tough guy industry and all of that. So,
I mean, it still is today. And, you know, we're not here to criticize, you know, other departments, but, you know, sometimes I'll watch YouTube stuff about, you know, what happens on fire grounds today. And sometimes I'm a little surprised. So, you know, having said that, yeah, maybe Backdraft is more realistic than I want to give it credit for.
By the way, side note, since we're on the topic, I looked it up because I was interested. Can you guess in Chicago, because it's based in Chicago, when was the first woman firefighter hired? What year?
2003.
Oh, I was going to say 2000.
2008.
Well, that's a good guess.
1980.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't know. I watched Backdraft. Do you mean in an administrator role or like?
I noticed that. No firefighter. And even more interesting, in all of the United States, when was the first woman firefighter hired? Like firefighter, not administrator.
Probably before the 80s, then.
Probably not much before that.
I don't know. I'd say maybe Chicago was the first to do it.
Answer is 1818.
Wow.
Okay.
So, you know.
Did they know she was a
That's like before they had rights.
Maybe not.
That's a good point. She
couldn't vote, but she could fight fire.
Couldn't run in a marathon, but
That is hilarious. So, quick question on your skill set, Mike. If you go into a fire, can you tell the difference between a woman and a mannequin?
I mean, that's a loaded question because, you know, on the one hand, you'd want to say, yeah, I'll be. On the other, it is chaos.
Yeah,
that's true.
You'd feel it.
Yeah, you would. You would do.
You'd feel it.
So,
yes.
Now, like, yes, after you've got your hands on this person or object, as the case may be, and their head falls off, and you'd, unless they've been dead for a long time and they're super stiff, but.
Well, then your hand would go right through them. So
yeah, there's that part of it too.
So you'd feel it.
In the moment of light smoke, like not a full enclosed room of smoke yet, and you see a mannequin laying on the ground, it's going to look like a body for sure for the first part. So,
but once you feel,
once you get that physical,
once you pick it up, and then you have to gather up the arms and legs and head separately.
Yeah. And the other thing is context about, you know, having some intelligence about the scene you're attending. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if you're attending a residence, you know, chances are you're not going to run into too many mannequins. If you're attending an industrial or commercial location, you know, general, and again, you know, knowing what you're getting into and getting intelligence before you need it. Yeah, you know, you might run into some mannequins. So let's, you know,
keep our heads up.
Yeah.
Okay, that exact scene, his brother is the senior officer and telling him what to do, but then he hears a woman's voice and he goes off and chases that. Did he do the right thing or the wrong thing?
Wrong thing.
Wrong thing. It's called freelancing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't do that. So You're in there as a team. Well, so that's the other thing. So none of that scene was right. So you go in as a team. You've got a partner.
By today's standards.
By today's standards. But I would assume it's, I can't imagine that would be any different. You go in as a team. You've got your partner.
Yeah.
You do not leave your partner. You go in with them, you come out with them. If you run out of air before I do, we're both coming out.
Yeah.
Right? So to go off, leave your partner and go off into another room where no one can see you and nobody knows where you are, that's a big no-no. Always.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Why do you think Stephen was such a dick to his brother?
I took it, there's a few scenes where, they get back to joking and stuff. Like after they did that tower drill and they're running up with the hose and they made it to the top and they're kind of, laughing with each other. And it almost makes me think it was out of love, like almost out of worry, because he, obviously the dad passed and then he said how he kind of helped raise him. And so I was trying to figure that out throughout the movie too, and I wonder if it is almost a worry thing that he's trying to care for him, but he's doing it in the wrong way, obviously.
I took it as if at the beginning of the movie, you see him hop into the truck with his dad, and his brother is staying behind in the apparatus bay, and his dad picks him specifically and gives him the helmet and tells him to hop in the truck. And so I think from there, at the young age, he's kind of been his dad's favorite. And his brother kind of
like resented him for that.
Yeah,
I got a different take.
Okay.
I have to say in that scene, I love the trope. I know you have to do it as a filmmaker, but when the helmet lands perfectly in front of the kid, not the head, not the head,
Not the head.
just the helmet.
Should have had a strap done up.
That's right. I thought that was hilarious.
So my take was, what's the younger brother's name again?
Stephen and
Brian.
So Brian's a total jerk off, right? Like he can't stick to anything, right? And so I can't remember exactly how it all played out, but I don't know, there were some business cards and Brian's done a bunch of stuff. And so it's just, and apparently he'd already attended the academy, but then bailed.
And I think nepotism was rampant in those days, right?
Oh,
Your
still
dad
is.
was in the force, you get into the force, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Two examples right here.
So I think it was a certain amount of skepticism on Steven's part. Like, are you here for the right reasons, and are you going to stick? Are you going to be someone I can rely on? And Brian, I think, has probably a pretty good resume of not being that guy. So I think that probably put a bit of a burden on the older brother to make sure that Brian performed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I still can't get over this rookie thing, though, that throwing him in a fire like that on his first day. I would assume that as a rookie, you're probably doing a lot of cleaning fire trucks. You're probably doing a lot of watching from the truck.
You're not doing anything by yourself. And again, we're viewing this through a modern day lens. But, and for someone who's been doing this for only 2 years, like, I'm keenly aware of how much I don't know.
Yeah.
And so, and especially on a municipal or city force, like, somewhere in Chicago, you are going to see so much in so many different flavors. And, it's going to take you at least 5 years, in my humble opinion, before, you will have the knowledge base to operate independently or without the oversight of the senior firefighter. When you are a probationary firefighter and you are at the hall for the first, you don't know anything. You know nothing. And it was obvious too, by the way. Like, yeah. So the idea that he would be given any kind of task that was anything other than wash the truck, or I guess they did go make lunch.
They made lunch.
So maybe that was accurate, but yeah, man, it was given a pretty long lead.
Okay, fire inspector, cool job.
I think it would be an awful job.
Yeah, if you dig that kind of thing, but I'd pass.
Yeah, I would pass in a heartbeat.
Really? What do you guys think?
I think it's kind of cool.
I kind of think it's cool too.
Well,
so this might be the different generations.
You know what? I think we need to swap ages then.
I thought it was cool. As an outsider, I thought it was a cool looking job. Although he didn't look like he was really doing it. He went around with a pocket knife, like
Smelling stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and sorry,
licking his finger.
back to Brian the probie. I mean, you need years of experience before you are any kind of fire inspector. And so the idea that, oh wow, the alderman, like has his eye on you and thinks you'd be a good fire, and which, by the way, is Brian just jamming out on his pals.
Yeah.
So looks like Stephen was right after all, and maybe I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but yeah, I thought that was bonkers too.
Yeah.
Like, what does this kid know about anything? Oh yeah, go get on the inspection squad. Come on, man.
Have any of you ever put a hose through a car? No. I know what happens.
We can dream.
I've
but no.
seen it though.
You have?
On videos, not in person, but in like New York Fire. Seen them do it, smash car windows, and
The latest one that I saw wasn't even necessary, and they did it anyway. It was like the car was like the front quarter panel was at the hydrant, so they went through the passenger compartment anyway.
But we're taught to, I mean, obviously we're going to do damage, but we're taught to do as the least amount of damage as possible. Like, if it's a fire, that's someone's home. You know what I mean? You're not going in there and just tearing down walls for no reason and being reckless. So if someone's there and they're not actually in the way, you would never damage their property because that's super unnecessary.
You shouldn't.
Unless you have to.
Unless you have
to. If you didn't, then you wouldn't, though. Like, that's the whole point that I'm saying. And in the movie, there was a very fair gap between the car in front and the car that they broke the window of that they could have ran homes in between. So that also didn't make sense. Like, if they were trying to make it look like the car was blocking, they should have made it look like the car was blocking. You know what I mean?
Hilarious.
Great TV, though.
Great
scene.
Yeah,
good scene.
for sure.
Just, okay, for a non-firefighter, that seems like something you would want to be able to do one day.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, but you know what? Like,
I see it all the time, people parking in front of hydrants, and you go, I know there's no fire right now, but you're not supposed to for a reason.
but it could also be, the mom that's going on 2 hours sleep that, like, just a spot that was available. Like, I'm someone who gives folks the benefit of the doubt, and, to have your window smashed and, hose line running through your car just because you spaced out for a second, like,
That would suck.
and so to have your day ruined because somebody wants to make an example out of your car, can we not?
Yeah.
But that's just me.
That goes back to protecting property.
Wholeheartedly disagree. I'm breaking the windows.
Okay, before we move on, David, yes, just a quick check-in. Who was the best actor in the movie? Because I have an opinion on this.
Donald Sutherland.
I call Donald Sutherland.
Yeah. Not even close.
So he had 6 minutes of airtime. He was flown in for this role. He did it all in one day. Right? Like, if you just look at the actor, I'm a Kurt Russell fan. I love Kurt Russell. And Billy Baldwin. I mean, he's just fun, even though he's not a good actor.
What are you talking about? The Baldwin family are probably the best actors of our generation.
Oh, I'm an Alec man.
Yeah,
Anyhow, I just thought Donald
it was
was,
so good.
and it had like Hannibal Lecter vibes to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
man, it was so good.
Yeah. The whole scene where it was like, did the fire speak to you, and that whole, just the affect that he had in that entire scene, it was just so well done.
Can we get a shout out for, like, the absolute worst?
Yes, go for it.
I don't know, everyone else?
Who was the worst?
Baldwin wasn't great.
I think Baldwin wasn't great. I mean, he's doing this with his hair too much, and it drives me crazy.
I didn't even know it was Billy until you mentioned it before the podcast here, because it was like, how many Baldwins are there? They all look the same, and then Alec. Right.
I mean, Rebecca De Mornay, I love her. She's done a lot of good movies in the 80s. She was not good in this, and that role was just so stupid. It added nothing to it. And the whole idea that you break up with your husband, you have a child with him, you break up with your husband, and then you go to the event he's going to with another, anyhow.
No, then they like shacking up a few scenes later. And,
And then saying, get out.
Yeah. Poor kid.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
Yeah.
And she wasn't on her best game. But anyhow. Okay, I'm going to move on. So first category, just hitting on anything you got that you want to talk about, best parts of this movie. And I can start us off with old fire halls.
Oh, yeah.
yes.
I love those old brick 2-story fire halls. And just the one scene where he says, like, look, there's the door where they used to have the hay.
Yeah, that's right.
And I thought, oh, I bet that's real. Like,
That is real.
100% is real.
that was so cool.
Yep. Yeah. I love the idea of the tape deck in the engine. I don't know if anybody mentioned that.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, noted.
Pretty awesome. But no, the old fire halls are like, and even the old apparatus and the old equipment, it's just, you don't see, like, you look at those old engines, they're made out of tin.
Yeah.
Right?
But there's also a bunch that hasn't changed. Like, I noticed like that the hose lines still pretty similar, like the source connectors, and
same thing.
like the the high volume hose.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll not too much of that stuff has changed. Well is on my mind, by the way, and I'd be surprised if it isn't in the script a little bit later. But can we talk about the dog?
Yeah.
That thing needed some grooming. What was going on with
It was
that
so
thing?
funny.
Yeah, but I was like, has anyone like tended to
Nobody
that
cares
dog in
about
like
that dog.
years?
Yeah, nobody cares about that.
Ah, that hurt my soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a good line too, like, what do you guys got against Dalmatians?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what do you got against like taking care of the one you got?
Yeah.
He was
that's-
cute.
Good point. Good point. Any other best parts you want to call out?
The end.
The end was good.
I had the end.
Yeah, just that it was over.
Oh, that was over.
Yeah.
I had the end fire scene. I actually thought the fire special effects, real or not, looked pretty darn
They look
cool.
great.
And when you hear what went into making it, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, exploding canisters, shooting up like rockets. Yeah, it's pretty hot stuff.
I love that.
Yeah, and the one, I know we're going to get the lines, but the one line as they're fighting that fire, dig in, goddammit, translates to, I'm about to kill all of you, because there's no way that's a survivable situation. Right?
Dig in, just hunker down
hunker
and let
down.
it explode over top of
That's
you.
fine. Hang out. We're good.
I think I would have run. I don't
That's
know.
the best thing would be to get out of that building.
Get out, yeah.
Honestly, my favorite scene was when Brian was investigating Donald Sutherland
Yeah.
about who he thinks started all these fires and all that. Just because of his acting. I just thought his
Yeah.
acting was very good. And
Brilliant.
Yeah, that scene really stood out to me.
All right, and to build on that, I do like clever things in movies, and I thought that the line about like let's look at what these quote unquote, I'm using air quotes here for the fans at home, what these fires are about, and they're not fires, right? They're engineered events to kill people, and the fire is actually ideally kept to a minimum. Who doesn't like fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was cool. That was clever. I wish there was more of it.
I agree.
Yeah, and it really was cool the way he broke it down. Like, who you're dealing with doesn't like fire. People that are arsonists really like fire. They
Yeah.
like to burn the world down.
Yep. And I mean, yeah, just the connecting the dots kind of thing. Like it allowed everybody watching it to kind of, you really follow along and you're listening to what he's saying, and then you're like, oh my gosh, it's this guy, and everyone kind of pieces it together at the same time, and it's just a hitting point at the movie where you kind of realize what's going on if you hadn't already.
Also, I know it's probably negligent, but when the inspector lights the fire to show, like,
Yeah.
you gotta follow the fire, or you gotta see the path the fire takes.
That was all good until it started crossing the street.
I was like, you're gonna want to take care of that.
And when he lit it, and when he was talking, he didn't have a fire extinguisher anywhere in the scene. I was looking for it, like.
And then arguably used the wrong type to put it out.
Anyhow, I thought that was cool, and I do think it's cool the way they treat the fire kind of like a character, right? Like, don't let it know it scared you, right? Like that kind of language. Okay, worst parts. I can kick us off again. Living in a boat in a parking lot.
Yes.
I mean, sexy though. Like,
David, at least you live in a van, right?
I do live in a van. It's a nice van, and it's no longer in a parking lot. So
Yeah.
I moved out of Walmart. White van. It's got free candy all the time.
Well,
It's good.
Okay, here's the other thing that bothered me. I had it in worst parts. A lot of water spraying. So in the first 20 minutes, everybody was pouring water on their head, spraying their face with the full force of the hose,
Which would hurt.
water everywhere.
it would take your face off.
And I was worried that I had loaded like the softcore version of this instead.
I'm sure there's one out there. Maybe we'll do that one next. But yeah,
Too much water.
too much water. The other thing you had mentioned earlier, the graduation scene in the bar, and then what's his face goes out and re-meets Jen and her grandmother who still hates him, and they're talking, and then someone opens up a hose on him. Is there just a hose
I thought
connected to a
exactly.
hydrant laying around outside of the bar? Like, that really annoyed me.
There's a lot of force in those hoses, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
is it going to hurt?
There's-
the guy
yes,
that
yes,
put
it-
it under his chin
Knock
and
you
then
over.
that scene?
oh yeah.
So those are, a light pressure, like when we were doing that brush fire over the back by the thing. You only had 50 pounds. Like, I just opened it up, and the minimum was 50 pounds of pressure.
Yeah.
But you run that 100 pounds, it's a lot of weight.
Tons.
Anyway,
Anything you guys want to call out as worst parts of this film?
Well, you said how they were using a lot of water, and it's funny because I remember noticing that they used such little water, and I was laughing about it because they would go into these buildings with no hose line, And I'm like, what are you going in there for? Like, are you just going to go in and ask the fire to please put itself out and use your kind words? Like, it just didn't, I thought that was pretty funny because I'm like, why are you rushing in with absolutely no protection? And then even, I think every single fire scene that I can think of, if they even had a hose, they weren't using it.
Right.
They're all just standing around. So that was
not nearly enough water.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So too much and too little, depending on the scene. There was never a good balance.
In most instances, and again, through a 2026 lens, I can't imagine it would have been any different then, but they're going into situations that you wouldn't go into.
Absolutely.
Like the final scene, you wouldn't go into that building.
Half the fires you wouldn't go into.
That's not a survivable situation. The smoke billowed out of the entire floor. You just hit that from the outside and hope
That ceiling collapsing at the end, like where it just crash.
Yeah.
It seemed like a bad place to have a discussion.
Yeah.
Bad time to have a battle.
They could have like, why don't we meet at the car? We got some things to talk about.
Yeah.
I think they should have done that.
Yeah.
And I heard no air horns at any point.
Nothing.
Like, no
No.
warning to
Don't need
get
that.
out
Nope.
because apparently nothing was wrong.
That's
But,
fine.
you know.
So, generally speaking, when you get above the thermal layer in a house fire, you're looking somewhere between 1,000 and 1,400 degrees.
Fahrenheit,
Which is
hot.
Sounds hot.
It's not survivable. Like, put your head up
In the oven.
You're done. You're just done.
I've done it.
And take a breath, and you're not coming back from that. Like, your lungs are immediately cooked, and you don't survive that.
Yep.
So there was just the unbelievability of that, but even just the amount of like smoke that these guys are exposing themselves to, and again, maybe not too far off from back in the day.
It's
But
really going in
hard to
without a
see.
mask thing. The going in without a mask thing.
You couldn't.
I thought that seems impossible.
Yeah. Whether or not the OGs said you could or not, you wouldn't be able to do. You wouldn't be able to breathe.
Body wouldn't let you.
To tell your partner, hold your breath when you're in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I liked it when Stephen, the leader, the lieutenant guy, would go in, and he would be sans any kind of breathing protection, but the other guy, would have a mask on.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
My other favorite part about some of the fire scenes is that this is the only universe in which you put water on a fire and the visibility doesn't go to zero. Second, you put water, like if you were in a compartment, you put water on, the visibility just because you're steaming up the room and the smoke drops and the whole deal, you can't see anything. Not here. It's fine.
Very effective ventilation. We just wasn't on.
Oh, that's what it was.
Scene.
Yeah,
That's right.
super
Somebody was
positive
running good fans.
Yeah. Good. Yep.
Okay. I have one more problem that I just want to raise as a worst part. And I don't know what it's like in firehouse shower rooms. But if you've got 8 or 10 shower heads and there's only 2 of you, do you take the one side by side or do you leave a
No,
one
you
space
share one.
Yeah.
You share it. You share a shower
is a
head
brotherhood.
and you got to save water.
And do you guys have your close talking conversations?
The closer the better. How else can you?
That's just my ignorance, but thanks.
It's called
for-
team building.
Team building. Yeah.
Like hold each other's faces while you do it, you know?
Yeah.
Just a
Do
big
water.
family. I don't know if that's the right word for this.
Yeah, what do you do with your family? Get me out of here.
No, another small point. I would have been very nervous going down that pole with just a towel on.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of risk factors there that I'm not into.
One other thing that is, and not to burst anybody's bubble, but what was portrayed in the movie is not actually how backdrafts work.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up
There's
as well. Yeah.
So number one, especially in the theater, that the houses maybe not the theater, you'd smell it.
It looked really cool.
It looks super cool. You'd smell it because you're burning everything up in that compartment, and then all the oxygen goes away, but you're still got a smoldering fire in there.
Yeah.
It's super heat, right? And you've got go on YouTube and look at backdrafts. You'll see what I mean. When they go, you have a massive fireball and then a fire. So the idea that it's we want to blow the fire, cool. It's all Hollywood and it's fun to watch, but that's not how they work. So,
Yeah.
sorry to burst everybody's bubble.
Well, and you'd see other signs. Like even in the houses,
smoke.
the windows would be blacked
Yeah, they-
out because it's burning all the fuel, and then it has no oxygen left to breathe. Like, right, fire is living in a sense. And then so when you introduce that oxygen and you open a door, it just absolutely takes a big inhale and takes all the oxygen and then ignites.
the wind is going the other way, right?
Oh, yeah.
Every
Yeah, it's
time
coming this way first.
the
That's right.
door opened, like boom, you've got all of that pressure, coming out like from the inside out, versus the other way around. Like if you've got a fire that's starving for oxygen and you open that door up, the first thing that's going to happen is that air's going in.
And then it chases them.
Then that fire gets all lit up, and then boom.
Yeah.
I don't ever see it going in and then back out. It was always just open the door, bam.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and when they're in that warehouse, the windows imploded.
Yeah.
They didn't break outwards. It wasn't even in the room of the content fire. It was
Lots of mini explosions that were supposed to be backdrafts, but they were just simply explosions that I don't quite know where they came from. But yeah, nothing really was quite a good example of a backdraft, but they were just trying to get the dramatic effect of one, I guess.
Fun movie, though.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
great. Great movie.
And like of all of the other adverse, fire situations, Backdraft is probably the coolest name. Like flashover,
Yeah.
meh,
Smoldering
smoke
fire.
explosion. Doesn't really work for the name
Backdraft.
of a Hollywood. But Backdraft, boom, we got
Yeah.
ourselves a winner.
Death by fire would have been okay.
But they didn't. But like,
Fire
no one
assassin.
died.
fire
Yeah.
assassin.
Not to be the downer again though, but I mean most folks die from smoke inhalation, not actually burning. So
But if you're going to go getting blown through the front end of a Porsche isn't a bad way to do it.
Oh, if I'm gonna do it, it's got to be done. Like that's the way.
yeah,
For
fair.
sure.
Okay, let's hit a few favorite lines before I tell you how this movie did. You guys got anything?
You go, we go.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that one stood out to me too. That one was always said. That kind of is true.
it is, yeah.
It is true in the fire service, but
But in a positive sense, right? Like, one, 2 in, 2 out. You
Yes.
go, we go, but not like, I die, you die.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill myself for you.
I'm not sure personally if I found out the guy beside me that I'm working with has been causing all these fires and I'm holding on to him off of this railing. I'm not sure I'd hold on to him much longer and say, you go, we go.
Well, Stephen was very strong. How long do you think you could hold a regular-sized man in one hand while holding on to a bar
So
with your full weight with the other hand with a glove on?
The glove kills.
Yeah, I was
those
just gonna
gloves.
say that.
the gloves are not great. And just as a piece of context, I think today our turnout gear and an SCBA, I think is 74 pounds
Yes.
total.
Yeah.
So 200-pound dude, so you're 270 pounds.
Almost 300 pounds. Yeah.
Plus you're holding your own weight.
And then if you've got
That's 500 pounds, one hand with a glove
on.
Don't forget you're soaking wet because you have already been in that elevator shaft. So,
And you got a lot on your mind too because he's been going through a lot.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, true. Okay, well, I wrote down, you have a bad day here, somebody dies. I think that's true. It's true.
Yep.
And I kind of liked the mortician when he said, Jesus, he's not going to sell you insurance, just pick him up. So I'm going to tell you guys how this movie did.
So sorry, when you say how it did.
Box office.
Okay, yeah.
Box office ratings, we're going to get into all of that.
Siskel and Ebert's take in there or what?
We got it. I do.
This is
full
a
research on this.
high quality podcast.
This is not an amateur
not an
podcast. So, according to Box Office Mojo Worldwide, Backdraft was, well, first, Mojo had it at the 14th highest earner at the box office that year, but the entire box office didn't happen in 1 year. So when I took the box office take, technically it would have been the 4th highest earner at the box office that year, just ahead of Silence of the Lambs.
Ahead of Silence of the Lambs.
And
Travesty.
Straight to jail.
Holy smokes.
Beauty and the Beast was the biggest box office earner this year. Backdraft was also beat by literally one of my favorite movies and my single greatest in-theater experience, Terminator 2.
Fair.
Yeah.
Was Kim with
Well,
you?
more than fair.
No.
Never seen it before, Kim. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Kim wouldn't have liked me in 1991.
Fair. Yeah. I don't like you now.
But obviously, Backdraft at 4th, it beat out a ton of great movies this year, including City Slickers, JFK, Star Trek 5. So it did pretty well.
City Slickers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. Dances with Wolves was the Oscar winner this year, and it was a decent movie, but I prefer a little more heat myself. Backdraft was nominated for Best Sound Editing, and Best Visual Effects, but it didn't win anything. So,
Was there any soundtrack to that movie, by the way?
No, it was just ominous music. And
Yeah, so
at
like
the end,
no
there was-
no music of the times.
There was a soundtrack, but it wasn't
it had Bruce Hornsby in it. What are you talking about?
with or without the range.
With the range.
With the range. Okay.
Could have used a little Billy Joel.
Yeah. Little Uptown Girl. Yeah, would have picked up the pace of the movie.
Yeah, wrong
Those
city.
fire
Wrong
scenes.
city. Come on.
Okay, so the budget, $40 million. What do you think it earned? Who wants to guess? In 1991.
106 million.
107 million.
This is not the Price is
127.
Right.
I say 95 million.
Okay, 152 million. Silence of the Lambs was 130 million.
That's insane.
Probably on a like significantly less expensive
One
budget,
year.
I would imagine.
Just the fact that Silence of the Lambs did less than Backdraft. Something wrong.
Well,
Yeah,
And
but sometimes things age like fine wine.
That's true.
I think the golden
but
example
so-
is.
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was going to say the golden example is Shawshank Redemption. Probably the
Yes.
greatest movie of all time. Had no uptake.
Yeah, but Silence of the Lambs
was released.
was one of 2 movies that won all 5 of the major awards at the Academy Awards that year.
Yeah, and there's also the problem that some people just don't know
Yeah, the Academy Award
quality
for 40
when
years,
it's
that's
presented to them. So
Well, it's the theme of the podcast, right? Like, how do these movies age? Like, do they get better? Do they get worse? Okay, so next part of this we do is the Rotten Tomatoes game, and I'll tell you how it works. So Rotten Tomatoes is my favorite scale for judging movies because it's not, is the movie a 9 out of 10 or a 1 out of 10? It's a scale of how many people say it's worth watching. So if it's a 50 on Rotten Tomatoes, it means half the people said it's worth watching and half said it wasn't. So I like to do critics and audience, and I like everybody to guess how it did.
in that year.
Well, it's contemporaneous, so Rotten Tomatoes is still going. So 1991 to today,
Okay.
anybody can go on. So you have audience and then you have professional critics that go on and rate it.
and that's the standard, whether it's worth watching or not.
Correct.
Yep. Is this good or not? And if you say it's good, then you register as a positive on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, I hate that it's a binary choice. But
So-
okay, fine.
So David, kick him off because you know how this works.
Yeah.
What do you think? What percentage of critics like this movie and what percentage of the audience?
60% for critics, 75 for the audience.
I'm gonna say 55 for the critics and 78 for the audience.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 45 critics, 74 audience, just to be a little bit different.
Trevor?
I'm going to go 58 critics and 72 audience.
Okay, so the answer is 72% of critics liked this movie. They said it's good, get out and see it.
Wow.
And David, 75% of the audience said that this movie was good, get out and see it. So in Rotten Tomatoes, the lower score wins. It's like golf. So Mike, you were a 28, Caitlin 26, Trevor, you got a 17, David, you got a 12.
12!
Get him out of here.
So
Nice work.
you would say this was a good movie based on the reception. So if we had critics, audience, and firefighters, maybe we would have something different.
But that's, we were saying how, just in general, I've had this conversation with so many people saying how, even the show you always see like 911 or whatever, and you get people, exactly, you get people in the fire service, police, paramedics, whatever, who go, that's absurd.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
never happen. I hate that show because of X, Y, and Z. And I feel like that's kind of the same for this. So our ratings are, a bit biased because we see it
course.
differently.
There's
and-
absolutely some taint in here for sure.
But I understand that, that makes sense. The typical person's probably going, wow, that was awesome. Go out and watch it. Action packed.
Is it hard to watch movies about your profession?
Yes.
Obviously. As an accountant, absolutely. Constantly maligned.
The Accountant was a
The
pretty good
Accountant.
This is true.
The Accountant is a great movie. That's the only accounting movie I saw that made it look interesting. Can you fight like The Accountant?
It's a pretty good shot.
Don't you want to find out?
You can hit him now with triple line.
Yeah, no, it's interesting stuff. Okay, so let me give you guys just a little bit of trivia to make it interesting. So Kurt Russell and Billy Baldwin did a lot of their own stunts and got credits as stunt performers because of it.
I saw that on the credits, by the way. Yeah, noted.
Most of the extras were real Chicago firefighters. And for that final scene, 5,000 actual firefighters showed up to film that scene.
Wow.
Who's at the hole?
I right?
That's exactly what I thought when I read it. I'm like, oh my God, I hope there wasn't a fire this day.
Jeez.
Anyhow, so Billy Baldwin, Kurt Russell went to firefighter boot camp to learn the ropes, and they slept in a Chicago firehouse for a month to get ready for this.
Okay.
So that's good. To capture the intensity of a real fire, a cameraman was outfitted in a fireproof suit and wandered through the flames with a handheld camera.
Wow.
Cool.
Wow, that's cool.
The actors carried real 50-pound hoses up the stairs to make it look real. Mm-hmm. They had a good pace.
Yeah.
They were on
Do
your
you
shoulders.
guys have to do that exercise? That's cool. Ron Howard donated some of the film proceeds to his local fire department. That's nice. Now, here's the one that I found super interesting. So the effects supervisor for this had a special lab built and spent 3 months in that lab experimenting with fire to learn how to control it for the film.
Fantastic.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And since fire goes up, they film the rooms upside down to get the crawling fire effect.
Wow.
Yeah.
When it's going along the floor.
Yeah, that bothered me, by the way. But anyways.
Yeah. I was wondering if you guys were going to mention it, but I just thought...
Yeah, there was so much to...
Even intuitively
into,
to me,
so-
I'm like, fire doesn't tend to go across the ground. It tends to go across the
Unless
ceiling.
you've like got a bunch of lighter fluid
I was just
down
gonna
there.
say,
and,
unless there's
like,
some fuel
then it
spill.
can do, but...
Yeah.
And then one last one. A movie theater in Connecticut was evacuated during the showing of this film because it caught on fire.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Life imitating art. And then, I mean, I got a woke or joke section. I didn't really see anything in this, but I did mention the women firefighters thing, so we got that trivia out.
So I'd be interested. I'd like someone to go back and watch this movie and count the number of times the term fireman was used versus firefighter was used. And I recall one time, and I can't remember the scene because I didn't take notes. I can't remember the scene, but I was shocked that they said firefighter. But I think it was only one time.
One too many.
Some would say.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, just a couple of reviews. So, however you guys felt about this movie, I promise you there's others who liked it more or less than you. So for this movie, there's 33 10-star reviews out of 206 total reviews. Of course, one of the most consistent themes of the 10-star reviews is the reverence for the visual effects and pre-CGI. So you got to hand it to them, right? Mm-hmm. No CGI. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy good.
I don't know how they filmed that. And even if you don't really have exploding barrels in the fires you go to in Nanoose Bay, it looked cool.
Totally.
Yep.
Okay, so just a couple of reviews here that I thought were fun. Someone called Sum22 says, Backdraft forever burns in my memory. And I think he means in the positive sense. Someone called Ish Oaks says, there are a few movies I can virtually watch over and over. This is one of them. I don't know if it's a rewatchable.
Yeah, this is not a...
Jeez, I wonder what the other movies are on that list for that kind of...
That's a tough putt. This is a once every 10 years movie.
Yeah.
Ree Pippin says, this movie made me want to be a firefighter.
Okay.
Good luck with that.
Well, that's what Top Gun did for...
Yeah, but it's funny. I thought of this because Top Gun did that for the Navy, right? Like
Yep.
it was all about Navy recruitment and all the rest of that stuff. Top Gun was arguably more realistic for naval aviators than this was for firefighters.
I mean, if someone said they wanted to be a firefighter because of this, it almost sounds like they have a death wish.
Yeah,
Like this.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean by good luck.
Yeah.
Not that hey, go and do it. It's an awesome profession. but-
Absolutely.
Just two more because I thought they were interesting. So a guy called Glass Case calls it the best firefighting movie of the 90s. And I looked it up. There's two.
This and Ladder 43 or whatever it was. The other one.
I forget what the other one was. And this one just seems like he should be institutionalized. He says, I'm so proud of Ron Howard. We grew up together. Basically, we're the same age. He was on TV and I watched TV. So, yeah, that sounds close.
Close.
If I could spend some quality friend time with a famous person, I would spend it with him. Precious and nothing but appropriate time.
Touched.
So I've
Someone's getting
I flagged this one to the authorities.
Yeah, that guy's putting on lipstick as we speak.
Yeah.
And I'm pleased to report that we had at least one firefighter review it, and he said it was realistic for the most part.
Okay.
From what
He,
department?
he claimed he was a firefighter. It was not Nanoose Bay.
No, again, 1991, man. And like a lot of the standards and the way we do things today are, written in blood and broken bones.
Got some tears and
If you want to hear the other side of it, I have another firefighter. So now we hear from people who liked it less, and for this movie, there are actually only 4 people who gave the movie a 1 star compared to the 33 10 stars. And I always say, like, it's got to be pretty bad to give it 1 star, right? Anyhow, so the first one is a firefighter, and he says, not in a million years would I go into a burning building with any of the firefighters in this movie, nor would they still have a job at the fire department if they performed like this in an actual fire.
That's my guy.
100%. In fact, if these guys had fought that final fire properly, everyone would still be alive.
Yeah.
And then somebody called That Quiet Boy says, does Chicago ever have minor fires, false alarms, or any other trivia calls?
Lift assist.
No cats and
Not a
trees.
single lift
Yeah.
assist.
Okay, Mike, you asked about Siskel and Ebert. Do you think they're going to like it?
Yeah, they were fun and gregarious guys. I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, they loved it.
I wouldn't describe them as fun and gregarious.
Fat.
Only one.
One of them was fat. Yeah.
Okay, well, Siskel, the non-fat one, says that the fire scenes in this movie were truly extraordinary and said he had very few complaints about this movie, calling it majestic.
Majestic. That's a word.
Ebert agreed with Siskel that the fire scenes were exciting and the film was stunning, but he was disappointed that the movie didn't focus more on the life, lore, and camaraderie of firefighters. He called it more of an action film, but said as an action film, it was superb. 2 thumbs up.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
I knew
fair.
it.
So those are the professional from our days. Okay, so question for you guys. Does this movie deserve a sequel or a remake?
I think they did one, didn't they?
Well, I'll tell you.
The answer is no, but I believe they did.
They could
But a remake. Would you like to see a good firefighting movie?
I would like to see a good firefighter.
I think I would.
Yes.
if they remade it with today's standards and an actual depiction of kind of what it's like, I think it would be kind of interesting. I mean, then again, you know, it has to be action-packed in Hollywood to an extent, like, still for it to be interesting, because like you were saying earlier, everything is very safety-oriented. You know, no matter how bad we want to rush in and do something, it's very safety-oriented nowadays. But it would still be interesting to have a kind of more relatable movie.
Did you guys watch any of the, like, Chicago Fire, Fire County, any of that kind of stuff?
No.
Yeah, I spent a few years watching Chicago Fire, and I found that one to be far more tolerable. I thought it was also more interesting because it was heavy on the interpersonal dynamics. And
Is that the Rob Lowe one?
no, that was just a TV series.
Okay.
Severide, Squad.
Ride or Die.
Ride or die.
Yeah.
You guys, you Gen Xers, you remember Emergency 1?
No.
Do you mean just emergency, like LA County Fire?
Yeah.
With, like the truck
okay.
and the
Yeah. Rampart 1?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what I'm talking about. That, like, with the light blue shirts.
There we go, yes.
Boom. Quality that.
Yeah.
The chips of the
Quality
fire service.
show.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Chips. Bunch and John.
Yeah.
Sorry to you Gen Zs, you don't get that reference.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the remakes. So there was a second one, Backdraft 2. It was released in 2019, so a long time after this. Direct to video, but it starred Billy Baldwin and Donald Sutherland. So,
Well.
just as a comparison, Rotten Tomatoes, so the film we watched was a 72 critics, 75 audience, and Backdraft 2 was a 40 and a 16. So 16% of audience said it's worth watching.
Now I'm curious.
Now, remake. There are rumors that there's a remake in talks, and Glenn Powell is supposedly attached to that.
Yeah.
Who's that?
He's the good-looking guy from Top Gun.
The new one.
Oh, yeah. Not Tom Cruise.
If you look it up, not Tom Cruise. If you look it up, you'll recognize his face. I'm sure you will.
Tom Cruise is dreamy. This guy's the good-looking one. Different.
Okay, so we are at the end of the podcast, and the last question we ask is this movie too old or pure gold?
I think pure gold.
All right.
Right. Got Convert.
Go, Trevor.
I'd say pure gold, I guess. If it's one or the other, I'm going to say pure gold.
Would you two tell your friends to watch it?
I don't know if I'd tell my friends to watch it, but if it came up in conversation, I'd talk about it, and I feel like just by talking about it, someone might become interested in it because, like we said, it's action-packed.
Has your dad seen this movie?
He has.
Yeah.
And what does he think of it?
He thought Donald Sutherland was a very good actor, just like we thought.
Yeah.
He didn't really have any opinion on the movie.
Both our parents had seen it actually, and they both kind of laughed when we said that's what we were watching. They're like, "No way, Backdraft!" So they, it was. They definitely knew what it was for sure.
Well, I think I know where you stand on this, Mike, but for official records...
Brick of lead.
Okay. Too old for you. Purcell?
Pure gold, baby.
Pure gold.
Pure gold.
Happy to be the dissenter. Yeah.
Suspend it.
As the only non-firefighter in the room, I give it a pure gold. I thought as an action film it was great. Although, I'm going to say it again, you could chop off the first hour and throw it away.
Yeah,
I agree.
for sure.
You could make it an 80-minute movie just starting when the action started. I literally paused it at the one. It was the 1 hour mark. I literally paused it and said, "Is this going to start ever?"
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was a slow.
But then right after that, it went into it, and yeah, there's lots of cool stuff from that. Okay, thanks to all of you for joining. This was super fun having a firefighter themed episode and looking at this classic movie that I have not seen since the day it came out.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Totally fun. All right.
All right.
That is a wrap.
But tis.
Thanks, everybody.
There's exciting news for book lovers. Fireside Books in Parksville now has a second location in Port Alberni. The Bookworm. Used books are just $5 or less. The Bookworm on the corner of Redford and Anderson, open 7 days a week from 10 to 5. Building your personal library for less. Fireside Books at 464 Island Highway East in Parksville is a book dragon's dream come true. Browse their extensive collections 7 days a week. Both locations make growing your personal library easier than ever. New and used books and so much more. Order online at firesidebooks.ca and pick up at either location. Details available online. Ask about returning books for a book credit. Fireside Books and the Bookworm. 2 locations, one amazing adventure in browsing.